Hello, everyone. My name is Brynn Krug, and I am the managing editor here at the Northern Star.
And I'm Sarah Rose, a copy editor, and welcome back to The Trend, a Northern Star pop culture podcast.
Each week on The Trend, we discuss a few trending pop culture topics, and then at the end, we will rank them from worst to best and decide whether or not they're in or out.
Well, let's get into it, you guys. This is the very last episode. Ever
of The Trend.
It's very bittersweet.
Yeah, hitting episode 50.
It's a big one.
It was a good run. We've loved being here with you, but Sarah and I are both graduating, and we decided 50 episodes is the perfect cap off.
Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in for the last one.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who's listened, but we will dive right in. Stranger Things. Everyone has been talking about it, and no one's saying good things.
No.
I think it was also just because the show was so beloved that season 5 was so incredibly disappointing.
Yeah.
And I'm not even like a super fan of the show. Like, I've watched all the seasons. I enjoy it. I, really liked it more in my youth when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm not really up to date and like super obsessed currently. But even me as a more casual viewer, I was angry at the finale because it is so bad. It is like frustrating.
Wow. I have yet to see it, but I've been seeing all things on Twitter, all things on TikTok. And it's very disappointing because now it makes... Well, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
But now I'm not as invested to watch it anymore. But it's very sad.
Obviously, this podcast will contain slight spoilers, but we are going to avoid revealing major plot points as much as possible with discussing commentary on it.
Proceed with caution.
So, season 5 released in 2 parts. The first part released earlier in December, and then the second part released on Christmas, and then the finale actually released on New Year's Day. No, released on New Year's Eve at night.
Yeah.
I think that the vibe of the first 2 seasons was amazing. I know people love season 3. I personally didn't love season 3 that much.
What?
Because it has that, it's like the 80s mall and it's the summer vibe.
Yeah.
I really liked the kind of like darker mystery small town vibe that the first 2 seasons have. And that's a major criticism of this 5th season. Is people are saying like the show started kind of dark. Like it was this dark, more sci-fi mystery and just had like a better, vibe to it. And now in season 5, it doesn't seem that way at all, and everything is just so incredibly corny. When the first half of season 5 released, I actually kind of liked it. I thought that it was corny and definitely had less substance than previous seasons, but I thought that there were a lot of action-packed elements, and I did feel like, okay, a lot is kind of happening. And so I was entertained through part 1 and thought that it was, like, just okay. Oh, but that was another criticism people have of the season, is season 4 ends with Hawkins, like, breaking open. There's all these portals to the upside down. Like, it seems like the end is completely imminent. So you would assume that season 5 picks up at the same spot. No. Season 5 starts off a year later.
That's crazy.
And so they're like, okay, well, it just completely destroyed all that intensity you built because you said, oh, it's this huge thing, and now it's been a year. And now we open on Hawkins, and the military is there taking over, kind of monitoring those cracks in the holes and the, breaks between the upside down and our world. So yeah, I think a lot of people were just immediately frustrated that buildup was lost. And I think also with talking about the stakes being lowered, I feel like the upside down was treated very casually this season.
Really?
Before it was, it's dangerous in there and it's like this huge thing. And now it's like, everyone goes in the upside down and like spends as much time as they want there.
Really?
And in, I believe, season 4, it was also a plot point that they're all the like vines in the Upside Down, they can't step on any of them.
Yeah.
Because everything is connected to the hive mind, which Vecna, the main villain, is connected to. So if they step on a vine, Vecna will know. And that was a point they made. That is not like a point in season 5 at all.
Oh my
Like,
God.
so it's like they built up a lot of things and then just completely abandoned it. And there are so many plot holes and inconsistencies. Oh yeah, so the Upside Down seemed way too lax. And then also, all of the characters had such thick plot armor, which is like, for those who don't know, plot armor is like if something happened to a side character, they would be killed off, but the main character is essentially invincible because they're important to the story. Or like even if it's unrealistic, everything goes, in the main character's favor because they're the main character. Yeah. So that's kind of what plot armor is. And there were, I think, a lot of, like, I know myself, I wished there is a major character death in the finale, but I think that there should have been more. That's crazy to say.
Hot take.
But, like, I don't even think that's hot take, though. I've seen so many people saying that. Like, I think that the concept that all of them, and people joke that it's literally like a football team at this point. In every season, they add on all these new characters.
They do.
And now they're all main characters. So also, the characters aren't even... they don't even have enough screen time individually because there's so many people to focus on. But the concept that, like, all of these characters can get through this, like, completely unscathed and be fine, it was just incredibly unrealistic. Yeah. And it's like when the U.S. Army with these special forces with their tanks and their massive guns and entire, artillery of weapons, they face off against the Demogorgons and Vecna and get completely annihilated and do not make a single dent with 1 million guns. And then the main cast, who's a ragtag group of teenagers, college kids, and some parents who only basically learned to do all this from season 1 when they started this battle, they are somehow invincible and completely survive all this attack. And yes, they do have 11, and they do have... The problem with the military is they don't fully understand the Upside Down and Vecna in the way that the main cast does. Mm-hmm. But still, like, it's incredibly unrealistic. And yeah, like, as I said, there were a lot of plot holes. And all these plot holes actually kind of started arising fan theories about the show, that it was basically everyone is, like, in Vecna's mind. So yeah, Vecna is the main villain, and throughout the season he has people like basically trapped in another world inside his mind. So they're really somewhere else, but they're like existing and they think they're in this other location. So anyway, that is a plot point that is used.
Whoa.
And after episode 7 came out, people were preparing for episode 8 to be released on New Year's Eve, and people were just so dissatisfied with episode 7.
Yeah.
They were saying, oh my goodness, this is all going to be one huge plot twist, and we as the audience are trapped inside Vecna's mind. Yeah, so like that's why it all seems off. Or it's like they think that Will is actually trapped inside Vecna's mind. So this is all from Will's perspective, and they don't realize Will's being controlled, and they're all, this isn't the real plan, and this isn't the real thing that's going on. Of course, so yeah, fans are saying like, oh, it's going to be this huge twist. And I was thinking, if that is a huge twist, that would be so awesome and incredible. But there's no way. And the final episode comes out, there's no way. It was not. In that final episode, I think the final battle against like the like main monster was like shorter than like the fight against Billy. Yeah, but the final battle scene was super short, and then the like epilogue portion of like months later, what are all the characters up to, was like, I was like, oh, surely we have 5 minutes left. I look and there's 37 minutes left. So it's like the actual battle was incredibly short and like seemed like a really easy win for them.
Aww.
And then And then that whole thing was just like tying all the loose ends of every character into neat little bows. But that just felt too neat. Like it felt like almost like it didn't feel like it had heart to it. After people thought maybe we're all trapped in Vecna's mind, it isn't really going to be this bad of a finale, surely. The finale comes out, incredibly disappointing. Then comes in what's referred to as conformity gate, which is just a theory by fans that there was a secret finale.
Yeah, secret ending.
So everyone, and I saw a lot of people, fans genuinely believing this.
Yeah.
There was this one girl who kept, like, coming across my For You page who genuinely, like, sounded deranged. Like, the way that she spoke about it, too, she was like, guys, like, if you look at this and, like, if you look at this, blah, blah, blah. But people believed it because they cared so much about this show, they could not accept the fact that it was truly just poorly written and ended badly. Oh, yeah. So the theory was just that the audience is still trapped inside Vecna's mind, or that Mike is trapped in Vecna's mind, and this is all being told from Mike's perspective, but none of it is real. So they thought on a week later, on January 7th, that another episode would come out that is like the real finale. Of course, nothing came out on January 7th. But there were, like, I never believed the theory because I knew it was just bad writing. Yeah. But there were a lot of signs which pointed to it, which, again, just shows how many plot holes there were. The major one that is, like, astonishing to me is this came out, I believe this was in episode 7. So people were using this point of evidence as a theory as why, like, maybe it was going to be revealed in episode 8 that we were, like, trapped in Vecna's mind or something. Yeah. So the character Holly is, like, trapped inside Vecna's mind. And one of the ways that she can distinguish that it is not reality is there's, like, a little, like, merry-go-round spinny thing. And in the center, there's, like, a gray circle. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, in the real world, this circle's supposed to be yellow. So because the color was wrong, she was able to say, like, oh, that's what's wrong in this memory. Yeah. There's this, like, dial, like, crank thing that is used for this, like, electricity thing in the radio tower. And in one of the episodes, it's originally red, and then in the following episode, it's gray. Or vice versa. But anyway, like, the color switches. And then everyone was saying, like, Hawkins' colors are green. Like, in the end, in the graduation robes, they're orange. So, like, okay, that seems weird, and it seems like they're prisoners. And then people were trying to say, like, okay, look, Will's standing with his hands like this and with his hands crossed. That's exactly how Henry Creel, who's Vecna, crosses his hands. People were saying that Mike looked like Vecna in the end, and he definitely, or looked like Henry Creel, and he did. And there was, like, these books that were lined up, and the way that they were spelled said, like, a lie. There were just so many little clues and Easter eggs that pointed to that, like, something was off and something was wrong. Yeah. But, of course, it was just bad writing. The Duffer Brothers just didn't know their story. They just did not write it well, and that's how it ended up like this. And genuinely, every piece of dialogue was so corny, it was difficult to watch. Oh. And also, not besides just the dialogue being corny, like, I felt like a million times they would go, like, oh, well, this is just like in this movie when they did this thing. Or, like, say, like, oh, you know, when they did it, it's like they did that like 40 times. And then they also did, all right, now this is you, and this is the location, and this is this, and this is this, like a model. That's fine for, like, the final battle. But that literally, like, that mode of reasoning has been used in every single season and was used, like, 20 times in every episode. You know, obviously I'm exaggerating, but it got so old.
I also saw the CGI was really bad, especially in the finale.
Yeah, like the green scenes weren't good. But anyway, now we get down to, they didn't release a final episode. But
I knew it wasn't true.
They did release a documentary called One Last Adventure, The Making of Stranger Things 5. But what this documentary, it just further proves that the Duffer Brothers are incompetent. Like, in this season, we're introduced to this dimension called the Abyss, and that is where the final battle takes place. And the Abyss is supposedly supposed to be where, like, the Mind Flayer and all of the Demogorgons are from.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, all of these creatures that we've seen in the Upside Down and, like, the bats and stuff are from the Abyss. There is not a single Demogorgon in the battle.
It's just Vecna?
It's like the Mind Flayer in Vecna. They are fighting
the Abyss.
In the Abyss. Yeah, there is not a single Demogorgon. And people had asked that, like, where are all the Demogorgons?
Yeah.
And it could have been cool to say, like, maybe the Mind Flayer, like, had to use, like, their flesh to, like, make his physical form. Because that's kind of what he did with, like, all the rats to build, like, the physical form in season 3 for, like, the mall fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that would have made sense. But the Duffer Brothers were asked about it, and they said Vecna was surprised that he didn't know they were coming. That's why there are no Demogorgons there.
But they live there.
Yeah. So it makes no sense. Fans pointed them out.
Yeah.
Documentary comes out. There's a scene where they're discussing that, and someone says, "Hey, isn't it weird that there's no Demogorgons in the Abyss? Isn't that where they're from?" And the Duffer Brothers just go, yeah, I don't know," and, like, brush it off and ignore it.
I did see that clip.
And I know it's like Noah Schnapp has talked about for his character Will. He specifically asked them to add another scene because he did not feel like his character arc was completely finished. Yeah, we are now seeing that in the documentary, the other writers and the crew members are saying there are issues here. We have problems. And the Duffer Brothers are like, oh, whatever. So, yeah, I think it's just really disappointing and shows that they did not take care of this. Nothing like, I feel like they started the first 2 seasons, and I think it should have ended after season 3. They, like, had that and, like, that good storyline, and then they tried to add Vecna in and all these new, like, cool elements and just made the story too big and left so many inconsistencies. Another, like, kind of theory, Divorcegate, as the fan calls it, is one of the Duffer Brothers, Ross Duffer, one of the Duffer Brothers, was married to director Leigh Janiak. They married in 2015 and they divorced in 2024. And she created the Fear Street trilogy on Netflix.
Oh,
which is super popular.
Her.
People really like that.
That had Sadie Sink.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because people are saying she helped on the first 4 seasons of Stranger Things.
Which were
Then they got the divorce, and that's why the writing sucks. So
it's
people
possible.
do think that she probably had a heavier hand in writing the seasons, and without her, he can't write. Another big, huge thing in the documentary, they admitted, while they were filming episode 8, the script was not finished.
Oh, yeah, they did.
So it's like, yeah, this literally shows they had this huge budget, and they just did not have the writing skills. Like,
it's sad.
And it's really sad for the fans, because this was such... And it, like, also sucks for their legacy. Like, this was a huge show. And there's also, like, another Duffer Brothers Netflix show that was supposed to come out that Netflix, like, silently canceled. I think it's, like, this... Everyone loved the Duffer Brothers and loved Stranger Things, and this ending completely tanked both of those reputations.
Yeah.
Like, it's just kind of insane to see.
I heard 11 didn't get her ending wasn't super justified.
No, I think, like, I'm not satisfied with any character's endings. And I think 11's was kind of unfair to her character, too, and was kind of callous from the Duffer Brothers. And, like, when they were in the documentary, when they were talking about, like, certain characters who died, they were like, oh, well, this character is going to die. And, like, the way they said it was, like, they don't care about the characters. And, like, it, like... I don't know. It just, like, it definitely rubbed me the wrong way. All right, and then for our one other topic, we'll be brief on this, but Marty Supreme, Christmas Day.
So good.
Yeah, both Sarah and I have seen it. I don't remember, did we talk about the marketing? I think we were going to.
I don't think we've talked about the marketing, but
Yeah.
the marketing was insane for this.
Yeah, it was very organically marketed in the way of there was more creative things. Like Timothée Chalamet was showing up to like red carpet events with like these guys in orange ping pong ball heads.
Yeah.
And he was doing talk shows with those ping pong balls. And he was like went on Drewski's like show with
the auditions.
With that, yeah. And he also, I think one big thing for it was there was like this like ads marketing meeting Zoom call that was obviously scripted, but it was like literally just a YouTube video of a Zoom call that Timothée Chalamet was in, and it was very comedic.
Yeah.
So I feel like that the comedy level to marketing really pushed this film into the limelight. But I think it's a great film, and it's super entertaining. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time.
It's very anxiety inducing.
Yeah.
Just because everything goes wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And things keep happening. And I told Brynn this, but it wasn't your standard biopic, which I liked, because a lot of people have been complaining recently that Hollywood has been flooding the market with biopics. Because Timothy was also in a Bob Dylan biopic that came out a few months ago.
Yeah.
They're making a Michael Jackson one.
And all the Beatles. But this one was really good. It felt different. Yeah, I feel like it was less about him as a person and more about his mindset. Like, it wasn't like, oh, his life is what's important, we're telling you. It's his story of what his drive, his ambition. Because it's a story about a guy who he doesn't have it, and he has talent. He's good at ping pong. He doesn't have money. So he's doing all these different things to try to succeed at ping pong when it seems like he's failing. But he's also incredibly egotistical. He's kind of like putting his foot first in a lot of things before he's firmly planted in them.
Yeah.
But Sarah mentioned this to me, and I've heard it from other people as well, that a lot of people compare it to Uncut Gems.
Yeah. That was the first thing my friend said after we came out of the theater. And I was like, what's that? Mm-hmm. It's an Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, it's with Adam Sandler, and it's about this jeweler who, again, like, he has some of the right stuff, but the cards aren't lining up for him, and he's trying his best to hustle his way through and make it work. But I will say, I personally like Marty Supreme a lot better. Uncut Gems is really good, but it was almost too stressful. Like, Marty Supreme was stressful in a way where I'm like, I'm on the edge of my seat. This is intense. I want to know what happens.
Yeah.
And then Uncut Gems, I'm like, this is too stressful. Like, I can't handle this. I need to, like, go on my phone. I need to, like, play a mobile game instead of watching. I'm getting overwhelmed.
Is Uncut Gem a comedy? Or
yeah,
is it?
Oh, it is.
Okay, so both are.
Yeah, I think, like, comedy, like, same as Marty Supreme, like, comedy, drama. But, one thing about Marty Supreme, though, is it is really popular, and people are kind of saying, like, oh, they hope, like, teenage boys don't misinterpret it in the way they do American Psycho. Because Marty Supreme is a very egotistical person, but the point of the story is not to follow in his footsteps. It's not to look up to him. It's showing, like, it's just about drive and about passion and about, like, ambition.
Yeah.
And I think, Timothée Chalamet has spoken about this, but the reason he's also been, acting this way and marketing this movie this way is because that's the essence of Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
He believes he did a great thing in his performance, and he wants to be great, so he is doing everything in his power to make this movie great. So I'm like, I do think it's interesting. Good movie. Go see it. Good marketing.
Oh, my God, 100%. Mm-hmm. And he better get that Oscar. You know what people are saying? They think after Mikey Madison won that Oscar last year, when she was 25, that it made him go into psychosis.
Oh, yeah, because he's 28, and
he's been snubbed so many times.
Oh, and then another funny marketing thing is people were saying that Timothée Chalamet looked like the rapper SD Kid, who you can only see his eyes.
Yeah.
So it was like, and SD Kid is not American. So it was kind of a funny conspiracy, and no one, like, genuinely believed it. No. But then Timothée Chalamet did, like, a remix on an SD Kid song where he did a verse, and it was, like, Marty Supreme related to. So, yeah, it was really good.
He's so funny.
But, yeah, it was funny. I liked it. But anyway, let's get into our ranking.
This is easy, you guys. Marty Supreme on top.
Marty Supreme, #1.
Everything. The
go
film,
see it.
the marketing, the acting. Please go see it. It's so good. It's a
Yeah.
2.5-hour movie. It's long, but it
Yeah.
does. You know, there's too many things that happen. You'll never be bored.
Yeah. And out Stranger Things.
Literally
last.
everything.
It's not good. It's horrible. It's so many plot holes. It's poorly written.
Yeah.
And I don't think there should be any hate toward the actors, but I don't think a single one of them really gave that movie a performance because the script was bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not criticizing them.
writing.
I'm saying they weren't able to because they didn't have the tools of good writing to do
No.
that.
What would you rate the first half out of 5 stars though? Like the first 4 episodes
3 stars.
out of 5, and then the
Like,
last
it was
one.
entertaining, but it was nothing more. And the last 1.5, it was
Yeah.
horrible. But anyway,
Thank you guys so
Thank
much
you.
for listening
we've
and or watching.
loved recording all these times, all this
Yes.
chit-chatting, all this
Yes,
this
our little rants.
yapping we do. But thank you guys, and
Have a good
Yeah.
semester.
have a good rest of your semester. Bye.
Bye.